radio station, using our voice to rate your choice. Stay tuned.
Hello, dear listeners, and welcome to Tough Mud Thursdays with Lipok, only on 90.8 Hills FM. Variety is the spice of life. An ancient proverb goes on to say, and we could not agree more. So variety I bring to you. With her recent MV releasing tomorrow on her 35th birthday, which is the 2nd of June, dear listeners, allow me the honor to introduce to you the soulful, the charismatic, the fantabulous Kekre Ringa. With many accomplishments under her belt, the singer, songwriter, performer, vocal coach, the list goes on, has won hearts and minds alike with a soulful performance. Classically trained, Kekre identifies under the banner genre of electric pop and Broadway, going on to perform for dignitaries and royalties alike. Dear listeners, today she is ready to share her performance with you. Ready to air her new release titled Anam Kara, played shortly after we get to know our artist better. So join me as we dwell into conversations by RJ Marjung with our guest Kekre Ringa.
Hello listeners, thank you for tuning in to 90.8 Hills FM. I'm your host RJ Marjung, and today we have the lovely boho queen herself, Kekre Ringa.
Hi, thanks for having me.
Thank you so much for joining us today for our music and focus segment. Before we start, can we just get a short introduction from your side?
Okay, my name is Kekre Ringa. My friends, loved ones, they know me as Kekre Ringa, or I don't know, the boho singer came into being. I teach voice at Musica at home as well, and I'm mentoring at Infinity Inc.
Okay, now since you already brought it up, I want to know how the boho queen came into existence. Like what inspired that certain title?
Okay. Well, I usually refer to myself as the boho singer. The queen, I don't know from where it came from, but I'm glad it did. I grew up loving anything or everything warm and cozy, and I don't follow fashion as well. I just wear whatever I feel like.
Right.
I can't afford it as well. And I don't know, I love plants, giant plants, the pampas grass, anything flowy and colorful.
From what I see from your Instagram, I see a lot of green plants, a lot of cane furniture, a lot of fringes, macrame. So yeah, I think you've you've been in the music scene for the longest time. I think your first debut single being Destination?
Yes.
Which was released in 2017.
Yes.
If I'm not mistaken.
Yes.
And that's when the journey began for you as a singer, songwriter.
Yeah.
Before that, I mean,
Yes.
in my understanding, you've been trained in classical and opera style of singing, right? So where did you do your, did you do like a proper musical education? How did you come about?
Well, I was inspired by our local singers to start with when I was a little girl. The famous Doordarshan we had, and I would watch our local singers performing.
Who were some of the local singers that really inspired you?
Oh my gosh. We barely had any prominent ones except our Mathanilir, But I would just see him and be like, oh my gosh, I wonder what it's like to be on stage like that. To be
And if you remember, there was a Biogenesis.
Yes.
Quite a pair.
I was like 4, I think. So I barely remember anyone, to be honest. But I remember watching them on TV and just admiring and being fascinated by the idea of holding a mic. Yeah. And went on to just the fascination turned into an ambition and turned into a profession. So I did my music studies at the Bangalore Conservatory. Yeah.
Oh, and then that's where you were trained.
Yes, Western classical.
Western classical and opera.
Broadway.
Yes. That is very interesting because I think we don't have much of that here.
Yeah.
Is there do you have any plans on so to say expanding that that genre of music in Nagaland?
I would love to actually.
You've spoken about Musica.
Yes.
You're an admin there and
Yes.
a mentor. So is this the style that mentor your students?
To my students, yes, I have been trying to let some of my students learn Broadway because I feel that the whole body sings when I mean, no offense to other genres, they're all amazing in their own way.
Every genre has their own essence.
I enjoy Broadway so much. I mean, me personally, and the lyrics. I don't know who can even think of writing those words. I can write a Broadway piece.
I think it's just a very expressive genre, like performance-wise. I mean, vocally, very challenging,
Challenging. Yeah, it's hard to get accompaniments as well.
So do you think we have that sort of talent in
Of course
Nagaland?
we do. And I want my students to do it better than I do. Yeah, that's the
Just to
plan.
push the Broadway culture,
Uh-huh.
right? Do you think it's kind of a what challenge over here? Because we're like everybody's listening to contemporary pop, like indie music, rock, of course, hip hop, but Broadway not so much. I mean, out of 10 people, maybe just one.
That's true. That's
So
true.
like, is it a little challenging, like for you to make your students understand what Broadway actually is all about?
Well, to some, I have to explain the advantages.
Right.
Not everyone can become a Broadway entertainer, performer. But what it does is I try to let them learn some of the Broadway pieces for the classroom because their diction improves, expression improves, everything,
And I
body
think
language.
diction is very important.
Yeah, especially for that. Yeah.
Right. You've so you're an admin in Musica. Was an
Yeah.
admin. So right now, what do you do in Musica?
I teach voice.
You teach voice.
Yes.
So now you're a teacher in Musica and also a mentor for Infinity.
Yes.
How do you do it? Like, how do you juggle these two? Like, I mean, it must get a little taxing, right?
Sometimes, but I think I can never be too busy to do the things I love.
Of
and I
course.
enjoy those
I mean,
two so much. So
It's your passion, right? I mean, only a handful of us can say that we really enjoy what we're doing.
yeah, that's
'Cause
true.
Work is work, and then, I mean, when passion comes into play, I think it's a very lucky.
Yeah,
I
that's
mean,
true. We get tired physically, but we don't get tired of what we're doing, of the
mentally.
job. Nah? Yeah.
I think it's just a very fulfilling thing to do, right? So, and also very interesting fact, you were in a gospel rock band.
Yes.
Can you please just enlighten me? Like, what was that all about? What pushed you to that?
Uh-huh. I think it was 2016, if I remember. I was in Bangalore.
Yeah.
I got a call from Jivan John, my co-vocalist in
Alright.
Fire Flood, and he told me that he's a prayer warrior.
Okay,
So
the band was called
Fire Flood. Yes.
Oh.
So it's a prophetic band.
Yeah.
The members were handpicked through vision, it seems. So some prayer warriors, they were praying about it, and they showed our image to them in their dream. And, he called me up. And yeah, it was quite interesting. It was a good journey. There's 7 of us.
7 of you.
Yeah.
So you have instruments, and there's like 2 vocalists.
Yes. So, which is good, but the cons would be like it's very hard
Of
to
course,
meet up
band.
and
I
practice
mean,
for
the
7
last
people.
band that I interviewed, I mean, I think all bands, because when you're a solo artist, I mean, it's just you.
Yeah.
You need to work on yourself. But when it's a band, like it takes a lot of hard work, and then you have to take out time. And then when you're busy, someone else is now. When you're free, someone else is like caught up.
Yes,
So
that's
it-
true.
So how long did that go on for?
About 3 or 4 years. So after the first album got released, I was the only Naga in the band. So yeah, and
So where were all the other bandmates from?
the
From
musicians
Bangalore?
were in Shillong.
Shillong.
Jivan is from Bangalore. Yeah, so for us to meet, just even for a small, maybe a cup of coffee, it was almost impossible. So I'd
Because everybody's just from everywhere.
everywhere
there's 7 of
different
you.
priorities. Yeah, 7 of us, and priorities were different. I was a full-time singer. I think, and some of them were working as well. They were teaching, Sunday school teacher, everything going on in their lives. So I thought, okay, the season, it's like a season, so the season of being in Fire Flood is over. I'll have to move on to doing something on my own. And I wanted to try electronic pop. So yeah, Infinity happened.
Oh yes, your era of electronic pop. I mean, I
Yes.
think that was a very interesting take for you as well. How, like, in your own words, how did you find it? Like, did it really align with your spirit,
Yes.
musical spirit.
I would say, see, the training I received at the conservatory, the classical training, it disciplined me. It made me understand music as a wider, on a wider picture. I got to, learn what I can do with my voice and what I cannot as well. So
And I think that's very important. I mean, because a lot of artists, I think, so to say, like, they don't know their genre. Like,
Yes.
okay, this is how this is a genre that fits your voice, and so on, right? So I think that's a very important factor that plays into like you as an artist.
Yeah, that's true. It took me some time to find my voice as well. I was experimenting with almost everything: Western classical, Broadway, then the rock band, and electronic pop. Then I realized, okay, I think I can mix my voice. So now I do mixed voice singing.
Okay, with rock, I mean, electronic pop is like just something
Yes.
very different. I think in a way you can make it work because, I just feel like you can make that work. But with rock, how was it? How was your experience being in that band, like vocally?
I sang mostly with my first voice. I mean, the contemporary training that I had. It was fun actually. I think I was more of myself even that time. Like, I wouldn't say that we have multiple personalities, nothing like that, but we have different voices that we like to have fun with. So Broadway, yeah. Oh, okay. So Broadway is some. If I were to talk about Broadway, I'm like, I change my character. I go with the song. I try to, bring out the emotion or even sound a particular way to paint the word, paint the singing, the lyrics. And for it's like painting. Yeah. And for rock, it's like I wanted to bring out the character in me again. Like as a singer, I wanted to be versatile. So I enjoyed the versatility that happened.
That is, I mean, for you to go from rock to electropop, then being trained in Western classical and Broadway. I mean, that is quite a shift, and I like really very, very, very impressive. for me,
Thank you.
At least, okay. Let us talk about your debut album that was released last December.
Yes.
It was launched at Room 03, if I'm not mistaken.
Yes, it was.
And then it has a total of 8 songs,
Yes.
which is out on Spotify. So the album Bohem, am I saying it right?
Yes.
Just something about that.
Bohem is like the proper term for boho, bohemian. And it's just everything boho. I wrote 4 or 5 of the songs there. And they're all very personal to me. The theme song, Bohem, is a letter I wrote to myself in 2019. So it turned into a song. I never thought it would turn into a song, but it did. And I'm glad it did. It basically shows all the training that I received as an artist as well, technically. And the lyrics, the songs are all based on my personal experiences as a singer, a teacher, a daughter, a friend to someone. It's just
You as a whole in one song.
As a person.
Yeah.
Yes.
That is beautiful. So what is your creative process like? Okay, so like first things first, the lyrics comes in. Then do you do your own composing? Do you what's the process like for you?
I think it's different for everyone. Even for me, some of the songs I was given the bass line first, so I sat down and wrote them slowly. Bohem, like I said, was a letter, so the music came in after that, after the letter was written on my diary. There's a song called Here. I wrote that in about 10 minutes. It just hit me.
you got the
Something
bass
just
line?
No, just like that.
Just
It
the
just
words,
happened.
just the
Yes, it
lyrics.
just happened. Yeah. So sometimes I take forever to write even a line. Like I don't know.
Yeah, I think that is one thing, a lot of writers or lyricists, they go through like there's like month-long writer's block. And then you just can't seem to like creatively write anything. But then there are times when you're just like, okay, something hits you and you take out your
Yes.
phone or your like a notepad and you just start writing and there's no end to it. I think I think those are the those bursts of creativity, right?
Yeah,
Just-
that happens like once in a while.
But also I mean, we can't keep having those bursts.
Yeah, I wish, but yeah, we can't.
So, okay, Bohem is a personal letter to yourself. But okay, other than that, what is one song that like is very close to your heart?
Oh my. You and I?
You and I.
Yeah.
Well, I
yeah.
think you have a music
video.
out
Yes.
on YouTube.
Yes. It's just about two people meeting out of the blue, you know, and they either end up as strangers or best friends, or even they fall in love or anything. But you know, it's about meeting someone out of the blue, and you realize, oh my gosh, where have you been?
Okay.
You know,
And just
yeah.
the sense of not knowing, okay, where this is gonna go.
Yes.
That
Kind
is-
of fun.
it is really, I mean everybody can relate to that,
Yeah.
like, and I think that's the beauty of songs, right? Like you're writing it for other people, for your
Yes.
listeners to relate.
Yes.
And okay, you've done a lot of collaborations, quite a lot,
Handful.
a
Yes.
handful. What's your best collaboration so far? I mean, of course, everything has their own beauty, but according to you, like just musically, just experience wise with the artist, just take that all in and like just let me know like your favorite collaboration so far.
Favorites. I've enjoyed everything, but I think one of the tracks from my album Blue Jeans, Asalia was my manager, the CEO of Infinity, and he did the second verse. So just having someone actually take the time to manage and also do a song with me, yeah, that meant a lot.
So you are still affiliated to both Musica and Infinity.
Yes, kind of. As Musica would be as a teacher, Infinity as a mentor.
Just take us through your day, just take us through your normal routine.
Okay.
You before the interview, you said Mondays are hectic.
Yes.
What does your Monday look like?
Well, it's just me and Dad at home. We don't have a helper. So I get up, and if I get up early, I cook. If I don't get up really early, it's Dad doing the cooking. He doesn't mind cooking. I go to Musica around 12:30. So classes start by 1:20 like that till 6 or 6:20. So yeah.
That's a long
Yeah, it's a long day.
Because I was like, okay, 12:30 you go. School usually
Uh-huh.
ends at what?
Yes.
3, 4.
Yes.
But I think 6.
Yeah, we give individual lessons. So
Oh,
that's
that's
45
nice.
minutes to 1 hour each.
To one student
Yes. Yes.
at a time.
Yes.
That's beautiful. And with Infinity Inc., how does that work?
It's not as hectic as that. We usually do a Zoom conference, and if there's workshops, were for 3 months, so that's like once a week. So it wasn't as hectic as.
So you recently had a workshop. What was that, like a
6
month back?
workshops, yeah,
A
two
month back.
each day. Yes.
So what goes on in this workshop? Like what do you mentor these artists? How do you mentor them?
There were 6 of us, 6 mentors.
Yeah.
So the first one, my workshop was based on the experiences I had as an artist, the do's and don'ts of being an artist, the journey of being a singer.
Right.
So Abdon did his own thing, Nise, a couple of other mentors as well.
Right.
So they all shared their journey.
Okay. Because it is if I might say so myself, I mean, I think it's a very risky career to tread on, right? I mean, you might find success or you might not, or you might just be, what do you call, with your head above water,
Yeah.
just paddling, just trying to
Yeah.
get some air,
Yes,
right?
yes.
So from what I've seen and read about you, I mean, you've done a lot of interviews, I think, in Hornbill TV, and a lot of articles on you
Yes.
that I've seen, and I just wanted to ask this one. I mean, this one question that was just like threading, like, okay, what do you like? Okay, maybe it's a very common question, but where do you see yourself in the next 5 years? Just say.
Well, that's a good question, actually. I'm barely asked that question,
Right.
actually. Well, if I live, if I'm still alive.
If we all live, I mean,
Yes. I decided to be a singer with the purpose of just getting a peaceful sleep and, living my life without any regrets. So
Right.
I see myself happy looking back and looking at the albums or the songs that I've written, that I've put out, and just being grateful.
Just seeing your art out there,
Yeah,
right? I mean, I
yeah.
think that must feel
Yes.
very special. I mean,
yeah,
right?
Yeah. I think I would have worked more on my voice maybe 5 years from now, and maybe
Mhm.
one or two more albums.
Would
or
you,
a
do
couple
you
of
still see
EPs.
yourself teaching?
Yes, yes. It's a lifelong process because I think teaching also makes me learn at the same time from my
Right.
students. They have a lot to offer.
I mean, I think this is one thing I keep saying to everyone. I mean, we will learn
Yes.
a new thing even on our
Yes.
on our deadbed, right?
Yes.
Change is like just it's always
Yes,
happening, and then
constant,
it's
yeah.
very we just have to be very open.
Yes.
I mean, like a 5-year-old will teach you something today
Yeah,
that
yeah.
you wouldn't have learned
Yes.
otherwise.
Yeah.
So that's one thing that I keep telling myself, and I'm
Uh-huh.
just very open to change.
Mhm.
And that being said, I mean, I do know that you love what you do, but there has to be, that one thing that is a little that you find a little challenging. Okay, like let me just put it in, simply. Like, tell me your favorite. I mean, there are a lot of favorite things about like the career path that you've chosen, but then your favorite thing factor and your least favorite about being an artist. Just this whole career path in general.
Okay. Okay. Favorite thing. It's just being able to connect with people, tell my story
Right.
through songs. I think that's
Just
the best
creating.
part. Yeah, yeah. Least favorite would be having to explain why music is an art to certain people sometimes, or even having to explain why they have to even pay me for performing.
Right. I mean, and also I think that is one struggle that a lot of musicians from not just I won't just limit it to Nagaland, just Northeast India, just the whole world. I mean, that is a subject that parents do not like.
Yeah.
They're like, what? Music's not going to pay your bills,
Yes.
right? So I think that's one thing, because it's a very, you either make it or you don't,
Yes.
in that sense. So, and then if you're not creating, I think, and you get a little stagnant, and I think that's when the passion slowly dies, right? So I think that's one I feel is one struggle that all
Yeah.
musicians over here.
Yeah, that's true.
With that being said, what do you think that we can do as a community, like to support the local music scene in like Dimapur, Kohima, just Nagaland as a whole? Like, just support our Naga artists. What we can do as a community?
As a community, well, first thing, like just even being interviewed here
Yeah.
is a promotion itself.
Right.
So thank you.
You're
Also-
so very welcome. And thank you for driving all the way over here.
No problem. I think the music scene here
Right.
has been evolving actually.
I mean, from what I'm seeing, it is slowly coming up, slowly but surely, because we have so much of talent. Like every Tom, Dick, and Harry can sing. Just there's abundance of talent, and it's just very disheartening to see that kind of talent go to waste. Because I think we're all surrounded by these people.
Yes.
I mean, I won't name who, but really talented people, like be it with their singing or their songwriting, but just not getting the recognition that they deserve. So what can we do to like just push them to that level, or like to that place that they're supposed to be?
Well, I personally feel that I am an artist first, second, an entertainer. So I can't please everybody, first of all. So my music, the songs that I do, there are some people who really support me, who likes it, and there are some who doesn't. So if they don't like my music, they can move on to the next table without destroying my music or my image to the rest of the crowd.
Right. Just because one person does not like a certain genre does not mean.
So we have to stop doing that, first of all. So if they stop doing that, my audience will increase. So that's a way of helping each other as well. And music schools are coming out, but we have to be careful who we send maybe our children to. Don't just send your kids to a music school because it's nearby. You have to know where the teacher is from, where they did their studies, whether they're really capable of teaching or not. And a lot of parents, they need to realize that not every performer is a teacher, not every teacher is a performer. The big difference between those two. And we as young people, we need to educate the older generation about music as an art. It's not their fault. There has been a very huge leap, between these two generations. There's a big gap. Yeah.
A very big
So
gap.
we understand their concern, but also, it's our duty to educate them as well. And parents, I think they should also be more open-minded.
I think to a certain degree, even we see the
Yeah.
risk in it. But it's taking that
Yes.
leap of faith, right? Believing
Yeah.
in yourself enough to just be
Yeah.
like, okay, let me just try this out.
Yes, that's
I mean,
true.
let me give myself like this many years, and if I don't make it, I'm gonna go back. Whatever government
I
job's
don't know
waiting
what
for
I
me.
would go back to if this doesn't work out. So we are all believers,
Yeah.
and I feel that if God gave you a gift, it's to make you prosper. He would never give you a talent to put you to poverty. So I knew that I was created to be a singer. I just knew it. I wanted to sing all the time, but not with the intention of just being famous or anything like that. I
Just
just wanted
as
to sing.
your
I love
passion,
singing,
right?
so I sing. That's it.
Right.
And I think if you work hard, you put God first, and you take all the training that you can. Don't limit your learning just because you have gotten some fame or you have a certain amount of following. There's always someone out there who's better
I mean,
than you.
like we just
Yeah.
spoke about, like we're always learning. There's
Learning,
always
yes.
something new for you to
Yeah.
learn.
I keep telling my students or anybody,
Right.
everybody actually, there's always someone who's better than you in anything. So always have an open mind, be open to corrections, criticism. That's how you
Yeah.
grow. And success will follow if you're working hard.
Always, right? I think it just takes a little bit of time, but I think we should just be a little more patient.
Yeah,
And
don't
just-
race with
and then-
anybody.
Yeah, it's not a race.
Yeah, just do
I mean,
your
I
thing.
think the only person you're competing against is yourself.
Yes.
Like who you were yesterday, you're competing
Yes.
with that person.
Yes.
That's a very beautiful lesson from your end. I mean, for all our listeners to take something from. Speaking of the music scene, I mean, like we've just spoke about, it's right only now. I mean, we're seeing like so many fests, so many gigs happening every now and then. Every Saturday, there's something or the other going on in Room 03. We have what do you call private events promoting local artists, which is wonderful to see. Like, don't you think? I mean, providing a platform for them to just expand their fan base or just like a little bit of exposure, even if they gain like 2-3 followers from that night itself. I think that says something. I mean, that means a lot for, because I have artists like my friends are artists, a lot of my friends, and I also manage 3 of them. They keep telling me they'll be like, okay, like they posted a cover, they got 3 followers, and they're just like ecstatic, very happy. And I think doesn't hurt anybody to just support like socially, if you can't like come out and like watch them live or perform. I think that really helps an artist grow, and also keeping to keep up their passion, right?
Yes, that's true.
Because I like a lot of work goes into just even producing one song. I mean, you will know it. You know it. Like, I think it's like just days and nights of like the record, like songwriting, perfecting the lyrics, then going into recording. And I think recording is the most taxing part of it all.
I think so, yes.
And from this interview, the sense that I'm getting from you, I feel like you're somebody who spends a lot of time at the studio. Like, you're just like, no, I can do better. I'll do another gig. Is that how it is?
Well, my producer Ina will tell you. There are times I'm like in the zone,
Yeah.
and sometimes like I reach the studio and I'm always eating. So I have to eat first. That's one of the main part
You
of
have
the
to
recording
fuel,
process.
like, you need the fuel to belt out the way you do.
So I sing like twice, and then the throat opens.
Yeah.
So the next 2 times will be like kind of okay, yeah, and that's how it happens.
Like, are you the type of artist that's like, no, let's do another take. Let's do another take. Like, just
Depends on the song. Yeah, depends on the song.
so how long did it take for you to record all 8 songs in Bohem?
Bohem. Oh, the pandemic did a major role actually. It just stopped everything for a year. But in a way, I took it positively because
I mean, I think it gave you more time to perfect it
more
all.
time to sit and think, for Fire Flood, let me start there. 6 songs we recorded in about 45 minutes. So I was in the zone.
Oh my God.
Yeah.
6 songs in 45. I mean, that is quite a feat. I mean, I think that's a lot.
Depends on the songs, depends on the mood also, my health also, and if my voice is ready. There was a time where someone was smoking a cigarette and I inhaled it, so I couldn't sing for about 2 hours. It's like literally just doesn't work for me. I lost my voice. So
I mean, by second-hand smoking,
Yes,
that is
yes.
something.
So I had to do my vocal warm up again. I had to drink a lot of water, have a cup of tea, settle. That took the whole day.
Yeah.
Yeah, and just for 1 minute intro, the chant. Yeah.
And this was with Fire Flood.
That was for Bohem. The
Bohem.
intro of
Oh,
Bohem.
okay, okay.
Yes.
Oh, that
Yeah.
was.
It's just 1 minute and maybe 20 seconds,
Mhm.
but that took me the whole day just because of the secondhand smoking.
That is something really for you to lose your voice or
Yes.
just by taking a whiff of someone else's smoke.
I don't know how it happens, but it's just so bad for my throat.
So I mean, you have done so many live performances, and then
Yes.
backstage, I mean, there has to be someone smoking, right?
Yes.
I mean, how do you manage that? Do you just like
I
walk-
wear a mask, maybe like 2-3 masks sometimes.
Yeah.
And there was a show where I requested the audience sitting in the front to not smoke. I couldn't help it because I was gonna do about 8 or 9 songs. I
Right.
needed my voice, and Broadway was like somewhere in the middle as well. So I
Yeah.
just requested them. I had to do it.
And with Broadway, that
Yes,
needs
some of the notes. Yeah.
yeah, it needs a lot. So I mean, what like, just tell me about your one bad performance experience and one experience that, I mean, that you remember so vividly, and then you what do you call your best performance.
Okay. Wow, the audience contributes to a lot actually.
Yeah.
If I were to talk about
yeah.
performances, best performances, if I see
I mean,
the
even
audience
if you
enjoying.
even if you give your best
Yes.
and like the performance, I mean, the audience are like dead.
Yes.
I think that takes
in a way,
away.
we all
yeah.
perform together. There are times where there are like 1,000 people, but if my song can touch even one person and that person really enjoys it, can relate to it, then it means a lot to me.
Yeah.
So the number of audience doesn't matter much. At least would be my heel snapped. I was singing, and yeah, the heels just broke. I didn't
wait.
fall, but
I've read this article. Was this for
Okay.
Eastern Mirror?
I think so. It was for a tournament opening, and the players were standing right in front of me holding their flags, and they could see it. But fortunately, it didn't affect the voice, or I didn't fall. At least I did
I mean,
not
it must have
fall.
taken so much grease, because
Yes.
I would have stopped right at my tracks and then laughed or just walked off the stage.
There was a lady who was sitting behind me, and it seemed she prayed for me. The moment she saw the heel snap, she prayed. So you never know
How
who's
sweet of
praying.
her.
Yeah.
So the prayer like
Helps.
prayer
Yeah, it did.
prayer held the heel together.
Yes, I think so. You never know who's praying for you secretly. Actually, yeah.
And I think that's a very what do you call
It's a
powerful
blessing. Yeah.
weapon.
Yeah, it is.
And okay, now that we know your I wouldn't say bad performance, it's just like a small hiccup. Okay, what is your, according to you, what do you consider your best performance till date?
Okay, it keeps changing. Yeah. I've had too much fun. Sometimes it happens on stage. Sometimes it happens backstage when I meet certain people. So I think just the two of the best things that happened. I met Lucky Ali backstage once
Oh
in
my God.
Bangalore. Yeah, it was so nice because I love his voice.
Yeah, amazing artist.
Amazing artist. So he walked up to me and he said, "You have a good voice, do well in life." That's all he said. And I cried.
And I think that's all he needed to say. I would melt right then and there.
I cried. I was like, "Oh my God, thank you." I was crying. So I remember that. And I sang at Euphoria like a couple of days back. And I really, really enjoyed just having my best friends there.
Euphoria is the cafe?
No, if it's a music festival that happened in
Okay.
Kohima.
All
DBS.
right.
Yes.
My bad.
I had fun.
So thank you so much. I mean, I really did learn a lot from this interview about you. I mean, of course, I've read quite a bit. I have been informed. But I think this interview has just opened up a little bit more of you, I feel. Anyways, I think that's all the time we have for today. But before we go, if you have any message to our listeners, anything
Okay.
you'd like to say at all.
Okay. Well, you're gifted for a purpose. So just go ahead. Don't be afraid. And I always say this to anybody, everybody, like just seek first the kingdom of God and everything will be added unto you. So don't fear. And what would you do if you knew you would never fail? So just have that in your heart and just go ahead.
Thank you so much for that. And that is all we have for today. This is your host signing off. Thank you for tuning in.
Hey there, listeners. You were listening to RJ Marjung in conversations with our guest artist, Kekwe. With many accolades under her belt, starting off in the year 2010, being the finalist for Naga Orpheus Hunt, which is also known as the Naga Idol, Kekwe went on to amass many, many more awards. In the year 2011, the Best Performer Recital in the Bangalore Conservatory class of 2011, the Best EDM for her single Destination during the Nagaland Music Awards 2017, the Best Rock Artist during the Radio City Freedom People's Choice Award 2018, and the Best Album, the Indian Independent Music Awards 2022, and also the Best Pop Song during the Nagaland Music Award 2022. A vocal teacher by profession and a performer at heart, here ready to share her new release, Anam Kara, hearing it live for the first time, exclusive on 90.8 Hills FM. Prior to that, words from the artist herself.
Namaste, this is your boho singer, Kekwe. Anam Kara is my new single. It means soulmate. Well, this is quite a steamy song. I wanted to do this for a change, and I turned 35 on the 2nd of June. So it was more like a gift to myself. I believe in affirmations being a hardcore boho. So I wrote this for whoever I'm going to get married with someday. And with my husband, I know I'm going to be intimate with, so yeah, I wrote it for him. If you have a loved one in your life, if you have found your soulmate, I'm sure you will resonate with it as well. It's a beautiful thing to be able to wake up next to the one you love. And I would like to have that for myself someday. So I wrote that. I hope you like it.
But we walk underneath the
You were listening to Anam Kara, airing exclusively live, first time on 90.8 Hills FM. I've got a similar song about love for you. Unless you've been living under a rock, you've probably come across this song. This next one's titled The Coffee Shop, with about 4,555k views on YouTube. It's about relatable love stories which blooms at cafes and restaurants. So without further ado, now playing The Coffee Shop.
It was raining hot that day when I saw you for the first time. You were standing by my coffee shop. It was almost like a movie where the girl stands with the umbrella and dancing to the rain. I kept on watching till the rain settled down. Girl, you took my heart away. Will you keep it safe? Our love is gonna touch the sky. If we give it a try, we'll be dancing to the moonlight, have our own paradise. We could ride the stars, let the world be ours tonight. We could go on and on if we believe.
Boy, I knew you were watching me like you've never seen a girl. I pretended. I kept on staring at the other side. I was quiet, nervous, a little blushing, but I swear you were looking damn cool with the black hat and your 90s kind of shoes. You never knew I have your pictures on my phone. It all starts from the coffee shop. Boy, you got my heart. Ooh.
Our love is gonna touch the sky. If we give it a try, we'll be dancing to the moonlight, have our own paradise. We could ride the stars, let the world be ours tonight. We could go on and on if we believe. Till the rain settled down. Girl, you took my heart away. Will you keep it safe? Our love is gonna touch the sky. If we give it a try, we'll be dancing to the moonlight, have our own paradise. We could ride the stars, let the world be ours tonight. We could go on and on if we believe.
Boy, you got my heart.
The song is a testimony to why Keke Ringa is well known in the music circle for her versatility. Another of her work that she is truly admired and appreciated for is her Broadway prowess. Her cover on Christine Chenoweth's song Girl in 14G is proof of that. So now, let's listen to her cover of Girl in 14G.
I just moved in to 14G, so cozy, calm and peaceful. Heaven for a mouse like me, with quiet by the lease for pets are banned and parties too, and no solicitations. A window seat with garden view, a perfect nook to read a book. I'm lost in my Jane Austen when I hear say it isn't so. not the flat below. From an opera wannabe in 13G, a matinee of some cantata, Wagner string and Traviata. My first night in 14G, I'll put up with Puccini. I brew myself a cup of tea, crochet until she's feeling 8:30, not a peep, except the clock tick-tocking. Now I lay me down to sleep, a comfy bed to rest my head, a stretch, a yawn, I'm almost gone then. Now the girl upstairs wakes me unaware, blowing down from 15G, her reveille. She's scatting like her name is Lana. Guess who else is a cappella? Shub-doo-doo-doo-doo-doo. Woo! Shub-doo-doo-doo-doo-doo. Woo! I'm not one to raise my voice, make a fuss or speak my mind, but might I query, would you mind if, could you kindly stop? That felt good. Stop. 13, 15, 14G, the most unlikely trio. Not quite three-part harmony. All day, all night we're singing. Shub-doo-doo-doo-doo-doo, shub-doo-doo-doo-doo-doo. Stop. I had my fill of peace and quiet. Shout out loud, I've changed my diet, all because of 14G.
Beautifully covered, that was Girl in 14G. If you're enjoying listening to our Artist of the Week, be sure to support her. You can certainly check out her Spotify. Her album is out. It's titled Bohème, which roughly translates in French to Bohemian. Bohemian is a socially unconventional person, so especially one who's involved in the arts. Under the album, you're introduced to 8 songs, the first titled The Chant, which is the intro to the song, followed by Bohème, then comes Made For You, Blue Jeans, Not Your Angel, Here, 3-Leaf Clover, and ending with You and I. 8 songs. Support your artist, stream their music on Spotify. And if you want to connect with your artist, you can check up on their socials. First off, on Instagram, KEKHRIERINGA Kekeringa. Same applies to YouTube and to Facebook as well. Dear listeners, I hope you're feeling lucky because I certainly am. Let's take a dive and listen to 3-Leaf Clover. Up next, we've got Made For You by Kekeringa, amassing a view of about 29,000 on YouTube. Now playing Made For You.
Blowing wherever you took me. I was the rain, coming and going as I please. I was the storm, raging alone in the darkness. Then you came along, made me feel what it's meant to be with. Some people wonder if love is true. Some people wonder if they'll find someone like you. I never knew I could love someone so much. It hurts like I do. Darling, you know, heart, mind and soul, I'm made for you. So come take my hand, won't you let me feel all of your love? For better or worse, you have me till I close my eyes. And I will hold you through the night. And when tomorrow comes, I'm gonna love you again. Oh, some people wonder if love is true. Some people wonder if they'll find someone like you. I never knew I could love someone so much. It hurts like I do. Darling, you know, heart, mind and soul, I'm made for you.
An artist who takes immense inspiration from Aguilera, Ringa listens to almost every genre and is especially inclined towards artists who sing about everyday life and things related to it. And we see that impact on her music certainly. So now join me and let's journey to her next song, Destination.
When the tide is tough and you look for love, you feel you've had enough, yeah. Life can be so tough. All you look for is a friend to lean on, to take you away somewhere far away. Oh, how tired must you feel? The rain washes all of your tears. So pen and paper,
And with that, we come to the end of our episode of Tough Mud Thursdays with Kekre Ringa. This is Lepok signing out from 90.8 Hills FM. Cheers.
You're listening to 90.8 Hills FM Radio.
This is 90.8 Hills FM radio station, using our voice to rate your choice. Stay tuned.